Good morning, everyone. Happy, today's Thursday, I think. Yeah, Thursday. We have so much to talk about, and I am very excited for this video because we are finally getting back into market prepping for market season, which for me will start in March 5th, I believe, is the first market of the season for me. Normally it would be in February, but I decided not to do the February market this year. If you watched my 2025 market recap video from, honestly, I don't remember, but it's a few videos ago. But anyways, besides the point, not important. I mean, it is important, but it's not. The February market last year was my worst market of the year. So I did decide not to do it again this year. I could have done it again because I feel like compared to February of last year, my inventory is a lot different as far as what I keep stock in my booth. However, because it was just not the best market and I feel like it was really cold, I can't remember. It just wasn't worth it for me to sign up for this market, so I decided not to. I'm trying to be very intentional with how I spend my time, and instead of spending the day setting up and being at a market, I would rather be preparing for my March 5th market, which is going to be a double booth. And this, if you watched any of my market recap videos last year, then you probably saw the record-breaking market from last fall. It was the first or second market recap in the fall. I want to say it was in October. No, it wasn't. It might have been at the end of October. Ugh, I'm so sorry. I should really have my stuff together for this video, but I do not. But this is the same venue as that market. I really wanted to try their spring market out, so we are going to try it. That is what is on March 5th. We are doing a double booth space setup again this year. And I'm really, really excited and also severely underprepared. So we have our work cut out for us. We're going to go through my market prepping list with you guys here in a few minutes because it's a long one. It's 5 pages long in my notebook. I have definitely overcommitted, but some of that I'm going to actually cut back because I made that list when I was under the impression that I was going to be doing a 3-day market in April, and I'm not doing that now. So that is where we're at. So let me go grab my notebook, and then we're going to go through this list really quick, and I'll tell you the things that I definitely want to get finished and the things that I might end up taking off of the list. All right, we've got the notebook. Like I said, it is 5 pages long. I tend to make paper lists because I like paper lists. However, for each week, I do tend to go through and I'll pick out which items that I want to tackle this week, and I'll make a list on the Notes app on my phone, and then that way it's a little bit more or a little less overwhelming, I suppose I should say. But I already have quite a few things checked off of this list, which is really nice. I've been working very hard, and we are going to go through everything that I have made in the last probably couple of weeks. Some of it I've already shown in a previous video just because I was trying to stay caught up on what all I had made. But let's go through the list. I'm going to go through this as quickly as possible, so I'm not going to name any of the pattern designers for these, just to give you an idea of how many things I want to have made. It's a lot. I will add little tidbits here because I do have some of these partially made and they're just not put together yet, so I'll kind of like mention that as we go. So first thing on the list, Della Ducks, baby Della Ducks specifically. 4 mallards already made. Yellow ducks, I have 1 fully completed, and I think I have 2 more that have all of the pieces. They just need to be sewn together, but I want to make 4 total of those. Animal rattles, I want mallards, yellow ducks, 4 ducks, 4 foxes, 4 cows, 4 bears, 4 giraffes, and 4 deer. I have all of the ducks done. I've got 2 mallards and 2 yellow ducks, and then 4 foxes are finished, and I have 1 black cow left over from last year. So I have all of those. However, we'll get into this later, but some of those I am going to be pulling for my retail space restock. So that is, I'm going to have to redo this portion of the list to account for the ones that I'm taking up there. I want to make 15 small loaf cats, 15 capybaras. I want to do 10 of the Diddy Dex dragon snugglers. I've already made 5 of those, so we're halfway. Mini Mons by Beck Made Studio. I said I wasn't going to name names, but force of habit. I want to do 5 each of Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Charmander, Pikachu, Gengar, Psyduck, and Snorlax, and I will probably add more to this list. I just need to go through those patterns because I have all of them. I definitely want to add Eevee in there, and there's a couple of others that I want to add, but 5 each of those. Book buddies, that's important, and I'm probably going to make more than what I have listed here, but so far I just have Corduroy Bear, the Caterpillar, Llama Llama, and Angelina Ballerina the mouse. So I will probably expand on this list a little bit as I find some different smaller patterns. I'm trying to focus on smaller patterns versus the big Mama Made Mini snugglers from their book, because I find that smaller items tend to sell better. The Corduroy Bear sells a lot slower because it is a larger item. So I've actually bought a couple of other smaller bear snuggler patterns to hopefully pair with the book that will sell better than the snuggler version. Then Fable Friends, I want to do 4 each of the bear, mouse, deer, bunny, fox, duck, and chicken. I have the foxes. I did have the foxes done, but then I started stealing that inventory to fulfill Etsy orders with, so I think I need to recount. I think I have 2 done. And then I have the 4 ducks finished. Kinder Knots patterns, I want to do the bear, the fox, the deer, the elephant, the koala, and the monkey. Some of those I need 1 of. The rest of them I need 2 of. Cheeky turtles, chubby mallards, chubby white ducks, I've got 2 of those done. Chubby chickens. Then cow plushies, I don't know what pattern I'm using for that yet. I'm kind of switching it up. I used to use a free pattern, but that slowed down on the sales for me at the end of last year. So I want to find something different. Demogorgons, giraffes, alligator, which is poms and posies. I have 1 of those done. I think I want to do 2. Flem the frog, I have 2 of those done. Then the Junebug and James flowers, which were a really good seller for me last year. I want to do the daisy, the hibiscus, lavender, which I already have 2 of. Those didn't really sell super well for me last year. I don't think I sold a single lavender stem, so I may not make any more and just let those sell. And then the sunflowers were a hit for me, so I definitely want to make sure I overstock on those. Then I've been buying quite a few patterns. So I have a couple of statement items that I would like to make. Messenger Griffin, I think it's called the Messenger Mouse Griffin. Absolutely stunning. I want to make 1 of those. Gorbs the Forest Troll, I have 1 of those done, which I will show you here shortly. Elwyn the Healer, I have Mini Cooper, Mini Moose, and Mini Junior Bear by Neutral Knots. Fox by Crochet by Kelsey. Pudge the Penguin, I have 1 finished. I want to make at least 2 more. Luna Moth, Standing Night Fury, I want to make 2 of. Little Will, I want to make 2 more of. I have 1 of those. And then the snugglers that I want to have finished, Loops to Levy's Cow, the Mama Made Minis Bear, the smaller version, I want to make a couple of those. Lily the Lemur, the Jenny Loopy Doo, Luna Lamb, Large Bear, Small Bear, and the Elephant. And then Knots and Snuggles, I bought quite a few of her sitting animal patterns. So the sitting Highland cow, the dino, the red panda, the rhino, the moose, the elephant, the unicorn, and the axolotl. And for right now, I'm only doing 1 of each of those. And then I'm switching up my bee pattern. I still am going to keep my other bees in stock for now, but they slowed down quite a bit for me last year. So I've made 1 of the Oak and Marlow bee, the jelly bee, I think is what it is. I like that pattern. I probably am going to make at least one more of those. And then I also want to make the Cozy Stitch bee. I want to make a couple of those as well to just test out some different patterns and see how well they do. And then, because that's not long enough of a list, I also, y'all, this is insane. I don't know why I do this to myself, but here we are. I'm looking at my computer screen because I've purchased some more patterns. So Trainer Buddies by Crochet by Smurf. There's a 6 pattern pack that includes Pikachu, Charmander, Squirtle, Psyduck, Eevee, and it looks like Bulbasaur. I want to make those to go with my Pokemon section because they're bigger than the Minimons. Waffles, the Stuffy pattern by Lulu and Baby. Oh my gosh, if you guys have not seen this pattern, it is absolutely gorgeous. So I want to obsessively make those. And then I bought the Bee Poppers by Crochet. I want to try those out. They look very interesting, but they're probably going to be a little bit more of a higher priced item because they look a little bit more involved, but they're like popping bees out of flowers, which I really like. So I want to make a handful of those. And then Snuggle Beans Crochet, I got some of her Sploot series. So the Night Dragon, Dippy the Dino, Darth the Dragon, and Una the Unicorn. I want to make a couple of those each just to have at my booth. And then I also Holly's Yarn Creations, Nessa the Nessie, the Fox Plushie pattern bundle, which is basically like the Evolutions in a larger form, and I really, really like them. They're gorgeous, so I want to try making those. Jolly the Clown Frog, and the Eloise the Elephant. I tried so hard to get in on the Eloise the Elephant clown pattern, and I didn't get it, but of course I had to purchase it because it's so stinking cute, and I love it so much, even though I hate clowns. So I bought those patterns from her that I want to also make. Then, in my shopping cart, I have 2 more Neutral Knots patterns. I have Riggs the Raccoon and the Mini Ferguson the Fox plushie. I really, 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 really want to make those. I haven't purchased the patterns yet, though. Then I have the Stitch Studio, the 12-in-1 duck pattern with the little hats. I'm on the fence about those. We'll see. And then I also, Kay's Crochet Critters, she has these adorable blanket lovey patterns, and I have had them saved for literally months and months and months and months. And I think I'm finally going to take the plunge and purchase all of them. I think there's 10, 16 total different animals. I probably will not make all of them, but I think these might be a really good option for me to keep in stock up at the retail space. And we'll talk about that in a minute. And then I think that's it. Maybe. Oh, there's a couple of other patterns that I'm on the fence about. Crochet Grove, Shelf Goose, and the Goose and Mallard, like laying down one. Her snake pattern, and then the Love Live collection. There's a chicken and a bunny snuggler that I really, really like by her that I have saved in my cart as well. So that is where we're at. I do think I'm going to purchase the Neutral Knots patterns for sure. So those are going to get added. And then the Kay's Crochet Critters blanket levy patterns are probably going to end up getting purchased as well. So we're going to add those into the list of everything that I would like to have made. Beyond that, there was something else okay. An update on the retail space. So it is obviously January, so sales have slowed right down, but I do want to go ahead and give you guys a little quick update on everything that is sold in the month of January so far. It is, like I said, slow. I have done a total of $189.91 in sales. It's already January 22nd, so like I said, very, very slow. The items that have sold, I sold a chubby mallard duck, a fox fable friend, 2 possums, 3 small loaf cats, and floppy-eared bunny fable friend. So that is it. That is all that I have sold so far this month, which is very, 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 very slow, which I'm not surprised in the slightest. However, what I am finding is I think the retail space that I'm in advertises gifts very heavily. They're very focused on gifts. And I kind of stocked my booth with a market mentality, like I'm going to a market, and I don't think that I need to treat this as the same, because for a market, obviously, I'm setting up a booth space that is attractive to kids. I'm wanting the kids to come over and freak out over an item and have their parents purchase it for them. Or a kid comes and spends their pocket money or their allowance or whatever on an item. And I think these like stores in general, not necessarily just my retail space, but just if you set up in a retail space in general, I think a lot of times it's not parents with kids. It's parents, older children that can drive, like teenagers, young parents that might have their kids with them, but maybe not. Maybe it's like a day out without the kids, and then like grandparents or whatever. I think I need to switch up the strategy briefly, which you're like, well, it's January, sales are slow anyways. But I noticed this in December as well, when people were shopping for like Christmas gifts. A lot of the smaller items sold really well, and more baby-friendly items, things with embroidered eyes, stocking stuffers, things like that were selling really, really well. So my strategy going forward, and I'm going to do this for a couple of months, is I'm going to focus more on items that people will purchase as gifts for either a kid's birthday or maybe for somebody like their best friend or whatever. So I am starting to carry some wholesale items. I've got to get legally set up to be able to sell wholesale, like resale wholesale items. So I'm about to do that today. I need to get all of my licenses and stuff squared away so that I can do this. But I'm doing DIY kits, and yes, that also means that I am probably going to put a little bit more focus on getting my own crochet DIY kits put together so I can stock those as well. But I've purchased some from other small businesses to put up there. And then I'm focusing on more affordable baby blankets, because one thing that I have noticed when I go up there is that the rainbow baby blanket that I have had for quite some time, but it's priced at close to $100. It's probably underpriced if we're being completely honest. That is balled up and put back on the shelf. So it's getting picked up. People are probably seeing the price and they're putting it back. So I used Cameron's Cute Creations fleece baby blanket pattern, and I've made the 35 by 35 stitch and row square baby blankets, and they take me like an hour and a half to make the whole thing, so I can make them way more affordable. I'm going to like package them up really pretty with like a ribbon and a cute little tag, and even I think I'm going to print out like a little gift tag like that says like to and from. That way they can rip off the retail tag and still have the gift tag on it, and really cater to gift giving, and then they'll be more affordable. So I'm going to do those. I already have, I think, 3 made, and I want to have at least one more in a different color to take up there. The baby rattles that I make, I want to take some of those, which is what I was talking about earlier. I have all of the foxes and what was the other one? The ducks made, and I'm going to pull a few of those to take up there to restock. I'm going to restock the mini loaf cats because those apparently just can't get away from the loaf cats. And then we're going to see how that goes. So that is a little bit of an update on the retail space. I've obviously made my monthly booth fee back because that's only $125, barely. But I have made that money back, which is really my biggest concern. As long as it's not a complete loss, then it's fine by me. So that's where I'm at with all of that. But I'm going to quickly jump off of here. We will go through all of the items that I have finished here in a little while, probably the next clip. But I have some things that I need to get done before I can do that. And then we're going to really, really hit the market prepping hard. So I hope you guys are ready. This is my big box of completely 100% finished market prep items. Like I said earlier, some of this is going to get set aside to go up to the retail space, but I wanted to come on and show you guys everything that I have made in the last couple of weeks, just specifically for, market prepping or whatever. I have been very inspired to do new projects recently, and I've been filling in the gaps with some of my best sellers. So first item to show is the chubby white duck. I only have the two. I've got two of these completely finished. One is currently on my hook right now to be finished. But these guys are one of my better sellers at all of my markets. So, of course, I had to start stocking up on those. My plan is to make 5 of each for right now for this first upcoming market. Then, of course, another one of my best sellers, the Diddy Dex Dragon Snuggler. I cannot keep these things in stock. They sell so insanely well for me, and I think I sell them for either 32 or 35. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I typically stick to like the multicolored yarn. However, I'm running low on the tie-dye stuff, so I think what I might do is flip it and do solid colored bodies and tie-dye little accents on the dragons, just to use up some of that yarn. I need to order more, but I don't have enough to place another order with Premier at the current moment. But I've got it in the pastel rainbow. I believe this one is called something petals. I can't remember. I don't know. I don't remember the name, but they're all Premier Basic Chenille tie-dye. This one has hot pink wings. I think I normally do purple wings on this one, but for whatever reason I decided to switch it up. And then I've got this blue tie-dye with black wings. And I do modify this pattern ever so slightly. Where's the rest of them? Hello. I do not like the sheer amount of sewing on these guys because you literally sew based on the pattern, you sew literally everything on, and I'm not about that for market prepping. So I actually modify the pattern so that you make all the legs first and you crochet the legs into the body, and then the body gets crocheted into the head. And then I just do little bobble stitches for the little horns. And then I sew the wings and the ears on. That's the only sewing that I do in the modification. But this color is Kaleidoscope. I know that one because it's one of my favorites. And then the last one I made is this one. Super cute. I love these things. Like I said, I cannot keep these things in stock. So I've got 5 of those done. Then I did my other bestseller right now, both in person and online, are the Fox Fable Friends. I did have 5 of these, but as I said, I have been slowly stealing these guys from my market inventory to fill Etsy orders. I don't need to do that now because I am very far ahead on my Etsy orders. So these 2 guys will stay in my market prepping. I need to make 1 more in each colorway. But I've got 2 of those done. They don't have outfits yet. I don't know what outfits I will be making for them. So I'm just leaving that alone for right now. The next item, you've seen some of these if you've been watching the past couple of videos, but another one that I think I've shown before is this Little Will, and this is out of Lion Brand Cover Story. I don't remember the colorway, but it's like blue, purple, gray, brown, pink. It's just so stinking cute. And then painted safety eyes, of course, and then the white fluff down the back. Obsessed is an understatement. I definitely want to make more of those. And then another new to me pattern that I made is the Poms and Posies axolotl. I'm not super crazy about this pattern. I think if I were to make this again, I would sew the head so it can lay down like this instead of have it sewn on so that it's kind of sitting there like this, because the tail gets in the way. It can't sit up. So it's kind of awkward. And I'm not super crazy about the back legs on this one. I don't know. I'm very particular about the axolotls. I've been trying to find one that I really like, and I just haven't found one yet. I did start writing my own at Once Upon a Time, and that pattern is still out there. I have not released it yet, but I might resurrect it. I kind of stopped writing it last year. I finalized it and then just kind of dropped it. But it is cute, and I did stash bust a little bit of yarn with this one. So on the Poms and Posies front, I also made Atlas, the alligator, and I stash busted this green yarn with the polka dots. I don't remember what the name of the yarn or the colorway is, but I think this is so stinking cute. I'm obsessed. I love this pattern. I will be making this one again. I want to have at least one more to take to markets with me. And then another new to me pattern and another stash bust. I made two of these guys. This is Phlegm, I think, the frog, by, I don't know, but I made two of these guys, one in this green speckled and then one in the pink speckled. There is a larger version of this as well, but I'm not going to make it. I really like the size of these ones. I think they're nice and chunky, and this will be a really budget-friendly item that's a little bit bigger. So I really like that pattern too. It's cute. And then, naturally, we've got the Mama Makes Yarn rattles. I've got two in the yellow speckle ducks and two mallard ducks. So I've got 4 total of these. These ones, I am going to take one of each color up to the retail space. So I need to start building my bag to go up there, because I'm thinking I might go tomorrow to do that, to change everything out. But there's those. And then I also made the foxes. I've got 2 of each of these as well made, and all of them do rattle. I love these things. They're so quick. They sell super well. I took them to one market last year, and I sold 7 out of the 8 that I brought with me. So, and those are all by, these are the Cuddle Critters by Mama Makes Yarn. And then the rest of these are new to me patterns, and I don't think you've seen any of these yet in previous videos or whatever. These are first debut here. So first off, this is the Jelly Bee by Oak and Marlowe. I really like this pattern. I just don't know. I don't know. There's just like something about it. It's really easy to follow. I think my biggest problem is when you're decreasing and doing the half double crochet decreases, it leaves some gaps. It's not really overly stuffed, in my opinion. So I might just grab some yellow and just kind of go over the back here a little bit underneath all the stitches, just to fill in those gaps a little bit. So that's a little bit of extra work that I'm going to have to do. But it's no sew, which is awesome. And it is cute. I love his little, or I guess big badonkadonk. It's really cute. I want to make at least one more to test out at my market. My first one, just to see if it will sell or not. And then kind of go from there. And if it does well, obviously I will keep it in stock. But there's the Jelly Bee by Oak and Marlowe. And then my tried and true, we've got some more Fable friends. So I've got the mallard duck, which mallards are quite literally one of my best sellers. Mallard, literally anything, flies. This is the Millie Chick, I think, and Friends. Millie and Friends. It comes with a duck mod, and then she's got instructions on how to do the duck mod, the mallard mod, and a rooster mod. So it's like a 4-in-1 type of situation, which is really fun. And I will say, this pattern, I opted to just go to the default Fable legs that are used on other patterns. This has a different type of start for the little feet on these guys. I tried it and I did not like the way that mine came out. I probably just need to practice it a little bit and just do it over and over again to make it look right, but I just didn't like it, and I'm trying to crank these out, and they look the same as the other ones. I think it's perfectly fine if you wanted to do that, but the feet are definitely very, very tricky. So I got 2 of the mallard, and then I also did just 2 regular little yellow ducks. I have not done the chicken yet. I kind of just stopped after the ducks. So there's those. And then this is my absolute favorite thing that I have made. This was actually made last week. I got on a Zoom chat with Christine at What's Up Cupcake and Therese at Alligator Goods, and we were trying to pick my next pattern. They helped me choose. We chose this pattern, and they helped me choose the colors. And I quite literally am absolutely in love. I do not want to sell this at all. I don't want to sell it. It's so stinking cute, and I'm definitely going to be making another one in a different color. But this is Gorbs the Baby Forest Troll. I am absolutely in love. But this is Gorbs the Baby Forest Troll, and I chose to use coral pink with the green fluffy moss. And I quite literally am in love with this plushie. Quite literally in love with it. I do not want to get rid of it. It's so stinking cute. It is supposed to have a tail, but I left the tail off because I just thought this was perfectly fine. I kind of like it without the tail, but it's just like the oversized little arms, and the way that she designed the arms, it has like a very slight little curve, and the little toes kind of pigeon toe in a little bit, which is so cute. And I went a little bit light on the moss just because I didn't want to overdo it and just overwhelm the plushie with that. And then she has a little mushroom that you can add to the horn on top. You don't have to do the mushroom, but you know your girl is obsessed with mushrooms. Oh, and I used my own safety eyes, you guys. This is the Alpenglow in 30 millimeter safety eye. And it is just so pretty. I'm literally obsessed. I'm obsessed with this plushie. I love her so much. I am going to make her a little, I'm going to make her a little partner in this color and do a little bit of stash busting of the yarn, because this is also a stash bust project. Obsessed. You do have to sew pretty much everything on. So it is sewing intensive, but it's so stinking worth it because I love her so much. The little moss details. Ugh. Just absolutely precious. Oh, I'm in love. I'm in love. But I am going to get this put back in this box. I am going to take some pictures here probably in a little while because I need to get them all uploaded to my website. That is on my to-do list for today because I'm trying to get my inventory up to date and just like keep up with it a little bit better. And then that way these can all go get put away on my shelves until it's market time. So I'm going to get these all put away and then probably touch base with you guys later on when I start to market prep a little bit more. I just have such a long to-do list today, and I mean, this is literally my to-do list for today. It's not all going to get done. I can tell you that much right now. But my laundry just went off, so I do need to go and switch over my laundry, and that's one thing that's on my to-do list that can be checked off. So I'm gonna jump off here, go get some stuff done, and I will touch base with you guys in a little bit.
You got me hypnotized, you make me realize, yeah. Just tell me, baby, who's up by your side? 'Cause every day and night I'm about to lose my mind. We're like birds of a feather by design. You know I kiss but never tell. Oh, I just wanna take a chance. The way you move, it gets me grooving on the dance floor. You know I wish upon a well, and I'ma take you to the moon. 'Cause I get lifted when you come around. I feel like Michael Jackson. You know it's in the way you move. You make me feel like Michael Jackson. You know it's in the way you move, way you move, way you move. You got me singing. Don't stop, can't get enough. Just play along. You make me feel like Michael Jackson. Don't stop, can't get enough. Just play along.
This lighting is just giving. It's giving me life right now. Anyways, good morning. It is Friday. I'm so happy it's Friday. I just really I need the weekend, honestly. This week has just been one of those weeks where I have truly just struggled to stay motivated with like my job and trying to keep up with market prepping. Like, this is exactly why I make really long to-do lists for market prepping, or really just anything in general, because I am such a mood crocheter. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, girl, if I make a list of 100 things to make, I'm not going to be able to choose anything because of decision fatigue. But for me, it's almost the opposite. If I limit myself to like a very small amount of items to be made, then I generally will just not do anything on my list. So it really helps me to have a really long to-do list. Like yesterday, I had a really long to-do list. I got about half of it done, which isn't that bad. I wasn't expecting to get the whole thing done anyways. And maybe I'm just totally backwards, but it just works for me. So I bounced all over the place yesterday, and then by the end of the day, I was like, I don't really want to make anything on my list for my own markets, so we focused on baby blankets, which I think is where I left you off yesterday. So I wanted to get on and show you the baby blankets that I have almost done. They just need the ends woven in. So like I said, I'm using Cameron's Cute Creations fleece blanket. And I'm doing I don't actually know what size. I'm doing the preemie size, which is 18 by 18. Let me see if this actually came out at 18 inches. Oh my gosh, it did. Yeah, it came out 18 by 18. So my gauge is, well, I think it's like just over 18 in one direction, which I think is just like the rows are probably just a little bit longer, but it does come out to almost a perfect square. This is actually quite honestly pretty much a perfect square. Anyways, not important. I am not planning on blocking these because I just don't think they really need it. I don't really have an issue with the way that it looks because of the way that I'm going to package them. But these are, for now, specifically for my retail space. So I have two in this pink, and this yarn is, I'll tell you exactly what I use. It's Loops and Threads multi-marled acrylic yarn. It's a bulky weight 5. And the pattern calls for a 10 millimeter. It might call for a 9, which this yarn calls for a 9, but I think I'm using a 10. It's here somewhere. Yeah, I'm using a 10 millimeter for these, and they're coming out the perfect size. I It's like a preemie size, but I'm just going to call them, I don't know if I'm going to call them security blankets because that is also one of the sizes, or if I'm just going to call it a lovey blanket. I'm not really sure, but basically I'm going to package them either in a square like this and tie it with a pretty ribbon, and then put a like gift tag on it, and then my retail tag on it as well, with like the size information and everything, and material information. That's going to be important because a lot of people have allergies to natural fibers, and I mean even some are allergic to like acrylic or polyester and stuff like that. So I want to also make sure I'm including all of the information that they could possibly need to make an informed decision on whether or not they should buy the blanket. And these take me about an hour and a half to make, which is really not that bad, and hopefully will be a little bit more of an affordable gift for somebody to give as like a baby shower gift, or even for themselves if they're expecting, maybe their family members expecting. Anyways, so I have two actually in this color. This one has like a really cool green stripe on it. It was just the way the yarn worked up. It's a little unique. I kind of like it. I don't know if others will. I'm gonna make sure that I fold it so that green stripe is on the outside so people can see it and they're not surprised by it when they open up the blanket and there's just like a big swatch of green in there. So there's those two. And then I have one in solid blue. This is the one I finished last night while we were watching TV. And this yarn is actually the Bernat Forever Fleece in the tweeds. I think this is actually discontinued because I bought it from somewhere. I think that's a Joann sticker on clearance, but this was way before they announced that they were closing. I just saw it and it's so insanely soft. But this one is, let's see, it's the Forever Fleece. It's polyester and nylon, so it's a different makeup to these. I wanted to have, well, I say I wanted to have a wide variety. This is technically my stash busting because I had several skeins of each of these yarns, and I'm just trying to use it up for right now. I think going forward, if these do well, I will probably buy the loops and threads because I just like the texture and the weight of it a little bit more compared to this yarn. So I have one in solid blue, and then I also have one in brown and blue striped. I thought this was so stinking cute. I really like this one. So I have 4 finished. I do have this like raspberry. Aside from that, I started a new big project last night that I'll show you guys later on. I'm not going to show that right now because it's in the other room and it's not finished. But I did start something else that's on my market prep list last night, so I'm working on that. But for right now, I'm going to focus on the blankets. And then if I go to the booth today, I'll let you know. If I don't go to the booth today, I am going to continue with prepping stuff to go up to the booth because we'll probably go tomorrow if we don't go today, which means mini loaf cats and the rattles. I also purchased those blanket lovey patterns that I talked about yesterday, and I could potentially make 1 or 2 of those to take up there as well just to see how they do. I'm undecided on that though, so we'll see. But I think for now we're gonna work on a blanket because that's just kind of mindless and I can just sit here and watch YouTube and crank one out. Like I said, they take me about an hour and a half. Okay, apparently I'm not getting a center pull. That is my update. I'm not feeling the best this morning. I just feel a little bit run down, so I do want to take it a little bit easy this morning and not do anything that requires too much brain power. So hence why I am going to work on this blanket for the next probably hour and a half until I get it done. I have finished the cranberry blanket. I love this color. It's so pretty. I don't even know if you're really gonna be able to see it, but it's gorgeous, and I love the texture and the feel of this. And I also very much so lied to you when I said that it takes less than a skein. This is the second skein. I probably used about a third, maybe a half, probably a third of the second skein. So you definitely need 2 skeins of the Forever Fleece to make the this is, I think I said the preemie size, which is 18 by 18. But those are, I've got them stacked right here. So those are done. I still have some finishing work to do on those. They need to be, like, all of the ends need to be woven in. And then I need to figure out how I'm going to package them and tag them for the retail space. I can at least cross something off of my to-do list for today, which is very exciting. I think I'm going to now switch gears to market prepping. Now, what am I going to work on? I don't actually know at the current moment. I haven't decided. I might make the second Gorbs the baby troll that I want to make, because the yarn is currently sitting right here. This is the color that I want to go with for that. And I've got like the mushroom color, and the moss is sitting over here too. So I might do that. I don't know. I'm kind of in that place where I feel like I just need to look at pictures of things and decide based off of the pictures instead of the list. So I might just scroll through my pattern bank and just kind of see what speaks to me. I could also work on some of my whips, which would be probably more beneficial than starting a new project, to get some of those done. So I don't know. I'll let you guys know what I get up to. But for now, that is where I'm at. I finished the baby blankets that I wanted to get done. And now I'm going to switch gears. I'm probably going to let this camera charge for a little while because it is getting a little bit low on battery. And then I will touch base with you guys later. Hello. It has been a few days since I last updated you. It is Thursday, January 29th today. I have just been over here in my own little bubble, just getting things done as I can. I'm in this weird phase of like, I have a lot of stuff that I need to work on, not enough time to get it done, and decision fatigue because I'm trying to prioritize, like decide what my priorities are. And that has been a very difficult thing for me to kind of wrap my little brain around. So I've just been working away over here, and I wanted to come on and give you guys an update because I know we've been talking about market prepping and all of the fun things that come with that. And I have a monumentally long, I don't have it in here, but a monumentally long market prep list of things, and I have been slowly chipping away, and I'm very glad that I have such a long list of things to make because, like I said, even though I do get decision fatigue and I don't really know what to focus my time on, I like having a long list of things to pick from because then at least I'm more likely to stick to my list if I make it longer. I feel like that's probably way backwards for a lot of people, but anyways, I just wanted to show you guys everything that I have finished because I have another plastic tub full. And some of these I have kind of shown here and there as I've been working on stuff, and then basically my process is I finish a bunch of stuff, they go in a box, and then they go, once the box is like mostly full, I bring it in here, get photographs, load it to the website, and then tag it, and it goes in my inventory boxes for markets. So that's kind of my process. So I think, was it at the beginning of this video? I think I went through the first box with you, and all of that has been photographed. I think most of it is uploaded to the website. The only thing I think is missing is my little will. I think that's the only thing missing from my website at the current moment. So This is stuff that wasn't in the first lot, but it's stuff that I have since finished, since I showed you that. So first, I did get this guy finished. It's like the regular sized Della Duck. I believe this one simply just needed eyes embroidered. I do not put like any of the accessories on my Della Ducks. The reason is it's just extra time that I need to spend making something, and it adds cost to the item itself. And I try to keep things as affordable as I possibly can, especially for some of these like somewhat larger makes, because I charge $40 at my markets for these, which is already kind of on the high side for a baby gift. But there's that. That is done. I also added the embroidered eyes to my little Pudge the Penguin. So stinking cute. I'm literally obsessed. I really, really enjoyed this pattern. I do want to make another one in... I would love to make one in a fluffy yarn, but I don't know if I'm going to have time. I think one is probably good enough for right now. Like I said, I'm trying to kind of prioritize my bestsellers over stuff that's new because I just don't know how it's going to do. And then, of course, if you've been here a while, you know I can sell the crud out of some baby Della Ducks, particularly the mallard. And I think I have already shown these on here, but I finally got around to embroidering all of their eyes. So I have 4 mallard ducks ready to go. This is market inventory. However, I might steal one of these to take up to my retail space because I'm about to do a retail reset, and yeah, we may end up stealing one of these, but I'm not sure yet. I am very much on the fence about that. And then another one of my best sellers, the mini loaf cats. This is what I've been working on over the last like 2 or 3 days, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 of the mini loaf cats done. They are all in different colors. I have 4 more that I have made as well that I have set aside to keep out of my market inventory because they're going up to my retail space. And then the last thing that I have finished is a big guy. This is a Knots and Snuggles pattern. It is the axolotl sitting pattern. And I stash busted some yarn for this, which I'm very excited about. I used the Bernat Sparkle yarn in, I don't even know if you can really see the sparkle, but all of it is sparkle yarn. So this light blue is sparkle, this blue is sparkle, and then I used Safety Eyes from Christine at What's Up Cupcake. This is one of her painted safety eyes. I still need to do like a little bit of face shaping just to kind of add a little bit of this is what I really want to do right there. Is just kind of like squish it a little bit and then pull the eyes into the face a little bit just to give it a little bit more dimension. But that is everything that I have finished this week. I also have a bunch of stuff that I have worked on. I got a blanket lovey done, a bunch of the cup cozies, these things. I have a ton of these that I've been working on because I am kind of in the middle of stash busting yarn as well. So there was a lot of acrylic yarn that I wanted to get rid of. And then I have another one that I just started last night, the trainer friends. I started a Pikachu trainer friend, but these are done. So I am going to set these over here so that I can get pictures of those probably here shortly because I want to get them tagged and put away in my inventory. I don't really know what kind of dent I've made in my market prepping list because I still need to go through that box and kind of cross the stuff off that's finished. I have currently on my hook, I have a custom loaf cat. This is a local order. She ordered it back in like the beginning of December, like November-ish time. And I told her up front that I would not have it done by Christmas, and she was not in any rush whatsoever to have them. So I asked if it would be okay if I caught up on my other deadlines, and I had a market in December as well, December 6th. So I think she must have ordered it towards the end of November. And that was when she was like, I'm not in any rush. It's just for me. It's not like a gift or anything. So finally got in touch with her this week, and I got started this morning. So she has a black and white tuxedo with gold eyes, and then she has a calico with green eyes that's gray and orange with a white chin. That one's going to take me a little bit longer than I really want it to. I'm really hoping I can get away with like double stranding and just use like a gray blanket yarn and double strand it with an orange acrylic. I've done that before and it came out really well. So my goal is to have both of those done today, because if I can get them done today, I hopefully can meet with her this weekend to get those to her, because she's already paid and everything. I just need to drop them off. So I would love to get that order off of my plate. And then I still have 6 open orders on Etsy. 3 are loaf cats and 3 are foxes. So I still have quite a ways to go. My Etsy order number has not been 0 since September. I've had at least 1 open order consistently since then. So I would love to get that down to 0, honestly, because I also started writing my next pattern, which I am not going to show yet because he's still a work in progress. I was also able to get started on my next safety eye collection, but first I want to just say again, thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for the I guess love that you guys showed to my first drop. I felt inspired, and my next collection is going to be pretty much entirely inspired by nature, and I want to really do like some themed packs of eyes. Now, whether or not I only sell packs or if I sell I will be selling individuals for right now, but I do think I want to take a note from Christine and start doing limited packs of safety eyes instead. That way I'm not storing all of these. But I did get the first eye in the collection painted, and I want to show you guys. But this is the first eye in the collection, and this one specifically is inspired by the Northern Lights. So I saw this beautiful photo online, and unfortunately I had to shut my computer down, and your girl didn't save the picture that she was using for inspiration, but it was like this beautiful like pink and purple and blue sky with these like lines of green through it. So I just did like a really small hint of the green in there, and then it has like a dark blue background, which is really hard to tell, but it has a dark blue like behind it so that it's kind of got like a dark tone to it, which I really, really like. I'm very happy with how these came out, and I've got them I have them in 20s, and you could still see the definition of the green on the 20s, which is really exciting. I was worried the green wouldn't come through since it's such a small surface area, but it really did. So I've got it in 20s, 25s, hello, focus, hello, oh my gosh, there we go, 25s, and then I already showed you the 30s, and then I have the 35s done as well. So I went ahead and just painted all of the sizes. So I have 5 of each size except for the 35s. I have a very limited quantity of the 35s, so I only painted 2 pairs of the 35s. But the next drop is going to be sometime in February. I'm not 100% certain when that is going to happen. I would like to do it once a month and do like little collections once a month. So in theory, if I want to do that, it would be February 15th. I don't know if that could potentially work. I might be able to get, because I want to have at least 3 different colors for this one. So I've got 1 done. So in theory, I think in 2 weeks I could probably get 2 more colors done, but we'll see. I'm going to get this loaf cat done, and then I'm going to take a break from crocheting, and I'm going to get photos of the stuff that I need to post to the website for my inventory, and then get them tagged and get them put away. And then I'll start working on the second loaf cat for today, and we'll kind of just see what we end up doing. I do have a little bit of an update. So as you know, I have been shopping for patterns like nobody's business, and I have been working my way through some of those patterns because I don't want them to end up in my pattern graveyard. And one of those patterns was something that I was inspired to buy because Christine at What's Up Cupcake tested for this person. I'll pop up the designer on the bottom of the screen because I can't remember off the top of my head. But this is their Trainer Buddies pack. And it's 6 patterns of 6 different Pokemon, and I have made 4 of them so far. The first one I made was Pikachu. Absolutely adorable. They've got tiny little tum-tums and little baby toes, and it's simple enough that it's, I don't know, I really like this pattern. They added the stripes on the back and then the tail. I will say this tail is done in such a unique way. It was extremely difficult for me to get, and I did have to make some minor adjustments as I worked it because I'm assuming just because of my tension and the type of yarn that I used. I used Premier Basics chenille for all of these except for the one I'm about to show you. So they came out a lot bigger. I believe they used Parfait Chunky in the pattern and a different yarn that's a lot thinner and a smaller hook size. I used Premier Basics chenille with a 7mm hook, and this is 14 inches tall. Massive, absolutely massive plushie. But I love the way that it came out. It's so cute, and it's just giving me so much nostalgia. I'm super duper excited about how, like, the size. I am thinking I'm going to price this between $35 and $40. I'm not really sure where yet. I haven't quite landed on a price yet. But there's Pikachu. The next one I made, and this one I made out of, this is Bernat Blanket, but this is the Bulbasaur. So cute. Look at his little bulb on the back. This is adorable. I do think I want to add a couple more of the green spots, like maybe on the side somewhere, but I definitely wanted to make sure I got those on there because obviously those are the characteristic marks. The other thing I still need to do is I want to add whites on the eyes because I just used plain old solid black eyes because I didn't want to cut out felt for their like special eyes, and I didn't want to paint any safety eyes for these. I probably could in the future, but I just used 18mm black safety eyes, so I'm going to add the whites on the side, and then I'm going to do a little bit of face shaping just to add just a tiny bit of dimension here on these. But there's Bulbasaur. The next one I made was Eevee. I think this one is probably my least favorite. I feel like I just need to do something to the face because it doesn't, I mean, it's obviously Eevee because the tail and the neck fluff, but the face is missing something. So I do feel like I need to kind of do something a little bit different. I also am very tempted to use the same ears as the ears on Pikachu, mostly because I feel like these are a little bit too floppy and they're not really standing up like I want them to. And that could be the way that I sewed them on. I'm not really sure. This had a lot of sewing. You sew the ears, the tail, and you make the neck fluff separately and sew it on, and it's very awkward to sew on because basically the neck is a certain number of stitches around. I can't remember off the top of my head, and the neck fluff when you finish it is a lot bigger than that, so you do kind of have to finagle it, and I did have to overlap on the back a little bit when I sewed down the other piece. So you could probably adjust it a little bit to make it a little bit easier, but I just followed the pattern the way that it was written the first time, so I will more than likely make a few adjustments. I think I'm gonna put a nose. The pattern didn't call for a nose, but I think I am gonna add a little, like a tiny embroidered nose on the front, just to, like I said, add a little bit of extra detail. I'm also thinking that maybe if I sewed the ears on a little bit more crooked versus like straight up and down, I think this would look a little bit better. I could always cut them off, but I can't be bothered at the moment. And then last but not least, we got little Charmander. This one is not quite finished yet, but I did want to show you what I had finished so far. I am going to add 2 little lines on the front for his nose, and then I still need to do the flame on his tail. But this is Charmander. Again, this was Premier Basics chenille with a 7mm hook. And I'm honestly, this is just like giving my childhood. It's bringing back so many memories. And there are 2 others. There is a Squirtle and a Psyduck, and I haven't made either of those yet. I think I'm going to cap this at 4 for right now because this isn't... These patterns were not originally on my market prep list, but I just thought they were so cute after I saw Christine test them, and I bought the pattern when it was on sale. I'm going to end the vlog here because it's Sunday and I do need to edit this video and get it posted, so I hope you really enjoyed. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I am so grateful for each and every one of you that subscribes so far. It has been a little bit of a struggle here on YouTube, so if you made it all the way to the end today, let's copy everybody else on here and let's drop I don't even know what we've talked about today in this video. I just can't remember. Let's drop a duck emoji. Okay, we're gonna do a duck emoji, or if you would like to just comment the word duck, that'll work as well, because some of you I know watch on like computers and stuff and you may not have access to emojis. So let's do a duck emoji or the word duck. Let me know that you made it all the way to the end, and I'm so grateful for you. Make sure you hit the thumbs up on the video as well, and if you can, give the video a little bit of a hype. I think that's like a relatively new thing in the last 6 months, but I've noticed it on some of my other favorite creators, and I do like to hit the little button. I think you can get it if you watch it on like your phone or an iPad or something. I don't know if you can on the computer or on the TV. But please just mash all of the buttons, because like I said, it has been an insane struggle on YouTube the last month. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm just really boring. I don't know. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much again for hanging out with me this week and watching this video. And I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.